want to push history forward? Does it want to destroy the imperialist institutions and built on their place, uh, people's institutions, institutions of the working class? Or does your party want to pretend like it's fancy and leftist by accepting all of this, woke leftist ideology on various cultural issues, but still endorse the ruling hegemonic institutions and function as a fetter for the development of history? I don't care how leftist they call themselves and how much they posture in line with what it means to be leftist in the U.S. They're objectively rightist. They're objectively on the right if they serve the forces of hegemony, which doesn't just have to be done directly. It could be a sort of indirect service. Lukács, of course, talked about indirect apologetics being the principal form. He talks about it in this book. We just covered it in our class a couple weeks ago, The Destruction of Reason. He talks about indirect apologetics being the dominant form of apologetics after 1848, when it becomes clear that the capitalist class is no longer a progressive historical class, when it's outlived its moment of being a progressive class and becomes conservative or reactionary. Apologetics of the system has to take a different form. It has to take the form of critique. So there's a whole lot of people that postulate as leftists, that crossplay as leftists, but their political substance is rightist because they support the ruling institutions directly or indirectly. And you indirectly support the institutions of the hegemonic order when you condemn people who are the most successful in fighting against it. If you condemn the work that the ACP does, that the Institute does, that Infrared does, that Jackson Hinkle does, if you condemn their work at such a sensitive conjuncture, such as the one that we're in, you are indirectly serving the forces of hegemony. You can put as many pronouns as you want on your Twitter profile. You can put as many pride flags as you want on your Twitter profile. You can call yourself as leftist as you want. But if you're delegitimizing, condemning, attacking, hoping for the killing of and kidnapping of the people that are the most successful in the medias, which is the most important ideological field of struggle for the war of positions. If you condemn us, I don't care how leftist you pretend to be. If you condemn us, if you condemn people like Hinkle, like most of these fucking leftists were in the last week or two that we were in Venezuela, they're actively serving the forces of reaction. They're actively serving the forces of hegemony. They're actively on the right. That's the paradox. They think they're very leftist and hip because they fully accept the cultural ideas of the liberal wing of the ruling class. And then they fight against us because, some people have made perhaps somewhat insensitive comments and or they hold the more conservative view on cultural affairs. And they think that makes them leftists. That doesn't. That makes them leftists perhaps in the American context. But that doesn't make them left objectively with what it means to be on the left from the French Revolution. They're not standing on the side of the forces of progress. They're standing on the side of reaction. They're functioning as indirect agents of the apologetics of the ruling system when they attack us. So no, there can't both be a party that's left and right deviation. Let's see. Okay. Kamala Harris, huh? What an interesting figure. Very popular. You guys remember in the Democratic primaries in 2020 when she was getting most of the support from the Democratic base? Oh, wait, that never happened. She was maybe at 3%. But now she's going to be president or presidential candidate because there's no way Trump's losing this year. But let's listen into what this video that went viral, let's listen into what she says.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
Where's Karen? Yeah. Okay, so that has had liberals drooling for the last like 2 days. And you guys know who she was reacting to? She was reacting to protesters that were pro-Palestine protesters. So the liberal boss girl move that the liberals are now applauding and drooling over was literally done to people who were protesting the role that she and her party has played in funding and equipping a genocide that has murdered, in some estimates, hundreds of thousands of people, almost 200,000 people, because there was that recent report that came out that 186,000 people have died so far in Gaza. So it's girl boss to protest the people protesting the role you have played in this ongoing genocide. That is the epitome of liberal feminism. That is the epitome of what's called left in the US. We're going to continue doing genocide. We're going to continue funding it. But now we're going to put historically marginalized communities at the head of it. And we're also going to do the little girl boss mannerisms. We're going to go like this when we do it. And we're going to stare people down when we do it. That's progress. That's progress to these people. That's progress. Is to put a black woman as a presidential candidate who is going to whitewash genocide. That's progress. They want to call that black liberation. And it spits on the face of the glorious black freedom movement, which has been at the forefront of class struggles here in the US. It's completely ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's stomach turning that people are applauding this. It's completely disgusting. And folks, there's not going to be a change in policy. There's not. There might be more sinister attempts to whitewash the things that they're doing, but there's not going to be a change in policy. The genocidal administration of Joe Biden, if it comes into power with the form of Kamala Harris, is going to continue the status quo of supporting genocide, just as Trump will probably do so. There we go. Sergey's right. Two sides of the same coin, or as George Galloway puts it, two cheeks of the same ass. It's the same, it's the same ass. End of the day, it's the same ass, and we're still getting shit on. What do I care which cheek is the dominant one? It's the same ass, and I'm still gonna get shit on. That's what it is. That's American politics. This is American freedom, guys. This is what American freedom is. You get to choose. Do you want the left ass cheek or do you want the right ass cheek? You're still going to get pooped on, but you get to choose which ass cheek the turd bounces off of before it hits your fucking forehead. That's American freedom. That's American freedom. The genocide keeps going, but we're going to put historically marginalized communities at the helm of it so that a bunch of fucking liberal idiots applaud it and treat it as a girl boss moment. This is wokeism. This is when we say wokeism, this is what we're referring to. This is what we're referring to. It's the sort of woke washing of the most heinous and evil things produced by American imperialism and capitalism. That's wokeism. That's wokeism right there. Having a girl boss moment as a reply to people protesting a literal fucking genocide. A literal genocide. That's the party that the old defunct Communist Party, before it got reconstituted as the ACP, that's the party that they want you to support. Those are the people that they get butterflies when they listen to. Oh my God, how powerful, how powerful. Did you see her? Did you see that stare? Did you see her stare? The fuck out of here. You're a genocidal war criminal. And if you were fucking tried in the Nuremberg trials, you'd be guilty. And you'd either be rotting in a fucking jail cell or worse. And that's what these people are. They're criminals. They're criminals. She might be wearing a white suit, but her politics, the party she supports, is dripping in red, in the blood of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, in the blood of hundreds of thousands of people who have died in a senseless proxy war against Russia. There's people that have been conscripted that want nothing to do with the Zelensky regime, with the fascistic Zelensky regime, that have been conscripted and thrown into areas like Bakhmut, where the average survival time is 4 fucking hours. Our friend, ACP Politburo member Slava, she knows people who with Down syndrome who have been thrown into the fronts to be slaughtered in the fucking meat grinder of war. So you can wear all the white suits you want. You're dripping in red. You're spiritually dead. You're a cancer on humanity. As Marx said of capitalism at the end of Capital, Volume 1, you come dripping from head to foot in blood and dirt. I don't care how much you masqueraded with a white suit. You're a criminal. And Biden's a criminal. And all these people are fucking criminals. None of these people represent the American people. None of the things that they do is in the interest of the American people. Not one. Not one fucking people. These people are traitors. They are traitors to the American people. They do not represent the interests of the American people. They represent foreign interests of people who have no nation, who have no people to respond to, whose only goal in life is accumulating more capital, seeing that number in their bank account go up and up and up and up. An increase that's premised on making all of us poor, on making all of us more indebted, more enslaved to debts we'll never be able to pay back. That's who these fucking scum represent. And you'll catch me dead before I'm in a voting booth voting for these fucking criminals. I'm sorry, folks. I don't give a fuck about Tim Waltz or whatever his name is. I don't care about the photo ops he's done with kids. I really don't care. When he's supporting policies that are murdering tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Palestinian children, he is a war criminal. That's where I draw the red line. The red line is genocide. The red line is imperialism. And there's motherfuckers that have the audacity to call us national chauvinists. They're the national chauvinists. Read your fucking Lenin. If you're going to use words, know what the fuck they mean. National chauvinists are the people that for crumbs given to their national working class, they support imperialism. They support the murder and the slaughter of millions of people. They're the national chauvinists. We're just the fucking communists. We're the real Marxist-Leninists. Because we say to that form of politics that says, hey, we got to vote for Kamala Harris, or hey, we got to vote for Trump because it's going to be, less stressful for the American people. It's still going to continue the slaughter of people abroad, but it's going to be a little better for the American people. Fuck that. Fuck that. We're not voting for genocidal criminals. We're not. That's not what we're in the business of doing. We're not going to expend the energy of hundreds or thousands of young cadre seeing a futureless future in front of them and ready to fight with no other option but fighting, we're not going to expend their energy by getting them to canvass for the fucking Democrats, by getting them to go to the polls for the fucking Democrats. We're not going to do that. You know why? Because we're actually fucking communists. Because we're not going to sell out the interests of working and oppressed people abroad with fucking bombs landing over their heads, kids being murdered with our tax dollars, with our money, with our fucking government. We're not going to sell the interests of those people out just so that we can have a couple of more things that we're not even guaranteed. Because half of the shit that Biden promised the American people, he didn't even fucking give us. Where are those policies that he claimed were going to support our working class? Where are those policies that he claimed was going to support poor people? None of them have been realized. People are, like myself, are still drowning in debt. I'm $100,000 in debt. For what? What was my fucking crime? Wanting to be educated? Wanting to be a productive member of society? Wanting to be cultured? That was my fucking crime. I got the highest level scholarships. I never got a fucking A-. I never got one A- in 9 years of post-high school university studies. Never got one fucking A-. Had the highest scholarships. No one gives a fuck. I'm still $100,000 in debt. And I'm supposed to start families like this. Get the fuck out of here. What are they giving us? They're not giving us nothing. And if they did, I still wouldn't care. You know why? Because they're still doing what the fuck they're doing abroad. For a couple more dollars on my fucking food stamp card, I'm not going to give the thumbs up to genocide. You can forget about it. You can fucking forget about it. In case you wanted to throw up, and that wasn't enough, this person says, this video perfectly encapsulates the heart of American liberalism. Vapid, self-indulging, self-obsessed idealization of aesthetics and the immaterial, and just bad taste all around. Get ready for this. Have a bucket next to you. I almost threw up when I saw this. Have a bucket next to you. There you go, folks. That's freedom. Freedom is supporting a candidate that backs a genocide, but at least gay men are able to dress like pink cowgirls and party in a fucking bar. That's freedom, folks. That is freedom. That's freedom. That's American freedom. That's the freedom our state promises. You can support a genocide, killing hundreds of thousands of fucking innocent kids. You can support a war where we're giving hundreds of billions of our dollars to Nazis to throw innocent people into a fucking meat grinder with more than 500,000 dead. You can support that. You can do all of that with the people's money as our cities are destroyed, as once industrial powerhouse cities are plagued by rusted ruins of what it once was, once decent working class communities. Now you have a bunch of fucking zombified people walking around high as shit, just looking for the next fucking dope hit. As the country fucking crumbles, you're going to send hundreds of billions of fucking dollars to Nazis carrying forth a genocide. But at least gay people can still dance dressed as cowgirls in a fucking bar. That's freedom. Folks, that's freedom. That's the promise of American liberalism. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, and you all know it. It's fucking bullshit. As Dioniso Yupanqui, Peruvian indigenous lawyer, said in the Cortes de Cádiz, 1812, a people that oppresses another cannot themselves be free. We have attributed the quote to Engels and Lenin and Marx, but it was an indigenous Peruvian lawyer who said it first. None of that is freedom. I don't care how free you think you are, because of how free you can be sexually in bars or wherever the fuck you want to do your things. It's not freedom, because it's premised on literal fucking genocide, on dead bodies, on dead babies. That's not real fucking freedom. It's not real fucking freedom. And insofar as you continue to prioritize your subjective ability to do whatever the fuck you want and be promiscuous over and above the lives of millions of people that are being destroyed by imperialism, by our fascistic imperialist war machine, insofar as you continue to support that because of what it provides for you as an individual, you, sir, you, ma'am, are in the forces of reaction. You're scum. You're complicit in these genocides. You're complicit because you give it the thumbs up, because it lets you, one side of them lets you go out and party and be free and express yourself. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. It's tens of millions of people that are affected by this. We can't just look at the people that have died. Yes, 186,000 Palestinians have died in Gaza, but it's a whole people. 2.3 million affected, because everyone knows someone who has died. Everyone has family members who have died. Whole families have been fucking wiped out. And you want to sit here and support the party that has done it because you get to be promiscuous in bars and openly gay. Get the fuck out of here. That's national chauvinism. That's putting your interests to be however the fuck open you want to be over and above the lives of people abroad. That's the real national chauvinism. Every family in that region of the world is affected by what's being done to the Palestinians. It's not just, it's very easy just to look at the numbers of people who have died. It's not just those numbers. It's the millions that are affected by it. The millions, the hundreds of thousands of mothers that have to go to sleep knowing that their sons were just blown up, that their daughters were just massacred. It's the fathers who have to hold in their arms their dead 2-year-olds. How can you look at this as a parent? How can you look at this and say, yeah, I'm going to support a party just because I might have a little more on my food stamp card? How? How can you support those images? What we're doing with our money, with the people's money, how can you support it? I have a 2-year-old. You know how many images have broken me down, completely fucked up my whole day? Of fathers in Gaza carrying their dead kid, the same age of mine. And you want me to go vote for the party doing it just because you got some bullshit girl boss shit going on? Just because it gives false security to gay people being able to be open in a bar or whatever the fuck? Which all of that is exaggerated, I think. The vast majority of the American people are not as bigoted as the people that want us divided make you think. Most people are just tolerant and acceptant. You can be however the fuck you want to be. It's fine. I'm not doing it. I'm not supporting these animals. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. You're not just an indifferent party. It's with your tax money that they do this. You have a specific responsibility. It's the same fucking fight. The same people that blow up kids, that leave orphans and childless parents, The same people that have made the lives of Palestinians be surrounded by trauma such that PTSD doesn't even make sense because everyone has PTSD from the moment they're born. It's those same people that keep you poor, that keep you indebted, that keep you desperate, that keep you alienated, that keep you depressed and anxious, that pump you with a bunch of bullshit commercials to try to make you as much of a consumer of bullshit things as you possibly could be. It's the same enemy. You're in the same fight. Don't let any idiot fool you into thinking that just because one side of this criminal ruling class is in favor of gay rights, supposedly, of women's rights, supposedly, because they could have ratified Roe v. Wade and they never fucking did it. They just used them as political footballs to tell you, hey, the Republicans are coming for it. Vote for us. And they never fucking ratify anything. Because they know that all they have to get you to vote for them is the fact that they're not the Republicans. That's all they have. And that's all the other side has too. All the other side has is the fact that, they're not Democrats. And then in substance, the main political footballs that they use to divide us, neither side wants to actually fight for what they say they want to fight. What would happen if the Democrats actually ratified women's rights, women's reproductive rights? What would happen? What about 2028? What the fuck are they going to run on? Nothing. What would happen if the Republicans actually did something about migration? What the fuck are they going to do in 2028? Nothing. Both sides benefit from using these issues as political footballs to divide the American people while they continue to rob us dry. You have to be stupid to think that the Democrats actually want to guarantee the reproductive rights of women. You have to be stupid to think that the Republicans, who are backed up by the sort of capitalist interests that benefit from super exploiting over and above the labor of undocumented migrants. You have to be stupid to think that the people raking in the loot from paying immigrant workers less are going to do something about the border. Get out of this duopoly. It's what Hegel called the spurious dialectic. A back and forth, a constant, infinite back and forth, a spurious infinity. Get out of it. Get out of it. Now there's an alternative. If you're committed, if you're dedicated, if you have discipline, and if you want to serve the people, if you don't look down on the people, if you don't care whether in the last election they voted for one side or the other or not at all, but the fact that they're working people suffering and looking for alternatives, now you have a party you can join. It's called the American Communist Party. You can join it, or you can support it through other means. You can be a sympathetic follower of the party. Now there's an alternative. There's no reason to support these scum. No reason at all.